Hey, how you doing? My name's Mike. I'm blind. You're probably not. This is my introduction to this new YouTube channel. A little about me. I'm 57. Been single my whole life, and I ended up going blind 15 years ago due to diabetic retinopathy. Because at age 17, diagnosed type 1 diabetes, and at age, I think it was 41, the diabetic stuff hit the fan, and I ended up being blind and going on dialysis all within the same year and a half. It's been a long, strange trip, and recently I've gotten into home distilling of alcohol spirits. Right now I'd like to give a big shout out to George Duncan, who runs the Barley and Hops Brewing YouTube channel. I have learned everything I know from George, and he's helped me out so much. He actually had a one-of-a-kind custom audible temperature control unit made for me that he flew out and delivered to me. He filmed that video, and it's on his video channel. Look it up. I owe George. George is a great guy. And so I'm putting together this channel to try to teach everybody, but it's aimed specifically at blind people, how to distill your own alcohol spirits at home, every phase of it. And I've had to adapt mostly everything to be able to do this. Everything talks, everything's audible. I mean, it's easy enough that a blind person can do this competently, confidently, and safely. Safety is a big key factor with me. So I've built in all kind of safety factors in every aspect of this, from cooking up a mash or boiling a wash, to fermenting, to the actual distillation, to filtering and aging. It's all been done with the blind person in mind, and it works very well. I've made some fantastic spirits, and I'll tell you that right now, all of my spirits are much cleaner than what you buy off the shelf, virtually hangover free, because as home distillers we pay strict attention to making our cuts. There are no methanol in there. All right, it's done automatically via temperature control. It's a big public myth, and what the hell, I'm already blind anyway, so it's not like I'm going to go blind. But too much methanol will kill you. Too much ethyl alcohol, good alcohol, or what we call heart, will kill you too. Ever heard of alcohol poisoning? Alcohol, whether it's methyl alcohol or ethyl alcohol, is a poison. All right, so don't drink too much. Okay? But even if you drink a nominal amount, you're hard pressed to get a hangover from a good home distilled alcohol spirit. I received training from what they call a local CRP, Community Rehab Provider, and it's basically a blind training center. And when I went blind, I went through what I call my blue period. And if you're familiar with firearms, I had a Springfield 1911 A1. It's Springfield's hot rod version, tricked out gun of a 45 automatic, and I was into that second stage of a two-stage trigger. And a higher power than I simply said, Mike, don't do this, I got you. Here, by the grace of God, go why. But that CRP center, I owe them, man. Their motto is, they can train a blind person to do everything except drive a car or fly a plane. And by God, they did. And so if you are blind and you happen across this YouTube channel, these videos, yeah, they're going to cover how a blind person can, distill alcohol at home. And sighted people are more than welcome to chime in. Hopefully you'll learn something here too. But it's also, every now and then I'll do videos on certain things I've found that really help me out as a blind person, a blind pedestrian, a blind shopper. So that'll be kind of interesting. As blind people, we all learn from each other. We get the basics at a training center, and we learn to learn from each other. Maybe the sighted crowd could take a lesson from that. Okay, what we got here, I've been working on a Christmas rum. That's what I'm going to call it. As you can imagine, as a home distiller, I am very popular at Christmas time. Because Lord knows I'd be dead if I drank everything I made. I just make this stuff because I just am thoroughly fascinated by the whole process. What we've got here is a 7.9 gallon fast ferment conical fermenter, and these things are great if you're blind, because instead of using the bucket method and I have to siphon off everything, leaving the dropped out yeast and trub on the bottom, well, I can't see, so I can't set the siphon height. So with the fast ferment, it has the shut-off valve on the bottom, and it's got a collection ball. So when it's done fermenting, I close that valve, then I can unscrew the collection ball and dump it in the sink. Put it back on, and I can go through my clearing process. I use a turbo clear. It's a two-part, probably a 25-hour clearing process. Well, that requires another collection ball drop. So what I pull out of this fermenter is very clean, all right, very clean. I don't use turbo carbon. I don't like that stuff. And these are all things we'll cover in future videos. If you're not familiar with this, you will be by the time it's all said and done. So this Christmas wash, it's the second batch I fermented because I need a total of 2.64 gallons, i.e. 10 liters, to fill a medium toasted white oak, American white oak 10-liter barrel that I have. I'll start when I get all the product made and the proof adjusted down. I'll use one of my 3-gallon glass jars with a stainless steel spigot in it, and I'll use various wood chips. I have a hop spider, load the wood chips in there, throw it in the jar. Taste it every now and then. When I think it's ready, pull the hop spider out, then load it in that barrel and let it finish aging there. So all in all, I should have about 1.5 years total aging time. This rum is going to turn out really good. Now also, I've done some modifications to this fast ferment. You see this here, I have an aeration wand that I've managed to come through this hole here with compression fittings. This thing is sealed up very good. And I can oxygenate. And I've just learned a new technique for oxygenating, where when you pitch your yeast and seal this thing up, I oxygenate at it's 3 clicks on the regulator, but I oxygenate for 6 hours. All right, and so that yeast can reproduce like crazy and just start going to town after 6 hours to 24 hours. By 24 hours, it's rocking and rolling, and this airlock is going nuts. And then I aerate, I oxygenate for 5 minutes every day, up until we get about 1/3 of the total gravity drop I'm looking for, and then we stop the oxygenating, we'll let it go, and then I'm going to degas, creating a whirlpool in here, and it'll form a vortex, and all the CO2 will escape. It'll make for a much cleaner environment for the yeast to continue knocking down gravity, which makes alcohol by volume. All right, and right now this is at about, we started out at 1.110, and right now, let's see, that was, let me think, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days now. We've dropped down to 1.011. So we're looking at, I'd guess about 13%. But I want to see if we can go all the way to 1.000, or maybe even lower. I think we will with this new technique of mine. So I'm real hopeful for that. In closing, like I said, this show is aimed at blind people. All right? And most of these techniques that I'm using, you don't have to buy a still. You can make your own beer. We'll go into that. All right? Make your own wine. We'll go into that. All right? Which is legal. Okay? Distilling, you're on your own with that. All right? And you got to check your state laws too. All right? So I hope you all will be able to gain some knowledge from this. I'm just an ordinary average blind guy, man. I've only been playing with this home distillation for, well, I think about a year and a half. And thanks to George at Barley and Hops Brewing, I'd like to think I've become accomplished. So thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor. If you like what you see, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Then when for notifications, hit all notifications. And give us a like. Share us with your friends. Hit that share button, man. It all helps out, man. I'd like to see the community grow. You know, we've got people like Jesse with Still It. It's a very good YouTube channel. Jesse's out of New Zealand. All right, he's actually flown over the States and visited a lot of the home distilling YouTubers. There's Bearden and Board. He's in Texas too. He's got some great videos up. Barley and Hops, of course, George. And then Shineology with Larry, Looney Larry. All great channels. So please give them a look, give them a share, give them a like. Have a safe day, and remember, great minds drink alike.